friend. Here we are at Shi-Shi Trailhead. We're gonna go on a family backpacking trip. 2 nights on the beach. What are we gonna find on the beach?
Some seashells?
Hopefully we'll see some sea life too, like sea anemones, starfish, barnacles, and all kinds of stuff.
Let's go.
Okay. We're hiking now. We're hiking now. Hello, parental units. In the last video, we talked about hiking out to Shi-Shi Beach and camping for 2 nights. During the second day out, we packed a lunch and put on our exploring sandals for a day hike out to the Point of Arches, which is a rocky outcropping about a mile south from our camp spot. This is a magical tidal area full of fascinating rock formations, tide pools, and caves. We made sure to check the low tide times before leaving home, and as luck would have it, the low tide was conveniently in the early afternoon. When visiting tide pools and tidal areas, there are some safety tips to keep in mind, both for travelers and for the inhabitants of these otherly worlds. Even with tall and varied rock formations, keep a constant eye on the ocean. The rising tide can come in quicker than you think and trap you on the rocks or sandbars as you explore, so make sure you are aware of your exit to safer sands at all times. Don't wear shoes and socks and long pants because you might need to wade your way out of an interesting area that's becoming covered with water. If you are near the ocean at all, watch for waves crashing suddenly. They can be surprisingly dangerous. Not to mention that if it was a cold day, there would be the risk of hypothermia if you got wet. There's a really cool crab! On our venture, we had a ratio of 4 adults to 2 young kids. There was always someone there to hold hands, make sure they didn't wander, fall in, or step on anemones. We had a carry pack for the toddler, extra clothes, water, sunscreen, snacks, and everything needed for an adventure into the unknown. We also kept an eye on our stuff to make sure it didn't get swept up in the incoming tide. As for sea creatures that call these constantly changing shores home, remember that many can't move out of the way of clumsy feet. Don't stand on rocks covered in seaweed. You never know if living animals such as sea anemones, starfish, or barnacles might be living under there. Plus, it's slippery and barnacles are sharp. Stick to the sand and wade cautiously, but even then, watch your step. Look closely and you will find a world of fascinating invertebrate creatures. Most of the animals we are seeing here at Point of Arches are invertebrates, which are basically creatures that don't have an internal spine.
There it is, it's eating that piece of grass. Yeah, I think there's...
They either have no hard structure at all, such as anemone and sea stars, or else they have an exoskeleton, such as crabs, or a shell, such as mussels, barnacles, or chitons. All of these species live in the intertidal zone, meaning that they are exposed to air or shallow pools during low tide and are underwater during high tide. Many such as anemone, mussels, and barnacles open up to feed when underwater and close up to stay moist and safe when exposed to air. The most amazing example being the aggregating anemone, which looks like squishy plorps gathered on the rocks, but underwater blossoms into an amazing fan of waving tentacles.
Yep, that's all there is to it.
Thank you for sharing our adventure. Take care out there and do the thing!
There's also arches, but it is the point of also suggestive rocks.
The point of wieners.